Take a comfortable seat, close your eyes. Deep breath in through the nose. Cleansing exhale. And then I want you to open your eyes and just look around your space. You're not looking for anything in particular. Just want you to look around, be present. Start to notice, I don't know, things that aren't standing out to you as much. So perhaps more in the shadows, or tucked away. When you're ready, close your eyes again. Let go of everything you just looked at. So we're letting go of the external. I want you now to see what you see behind closed eyes. And you can travel down within your body, kind of doing a body scan, but looking to see what you see. Begin to notice the breath. Does the breath move freely? Is it getting stuck anywhere? If so, why? And keeping your eyes closed, let's go ahead and inhale the arms up. Bring the palms together. And then release them home to your heart, Anjali Mudra. Where we'll pause to set our intention for our practice. When you're ready, release the hands and open the eyes. We're going to take the right hand to the earth beside you. Inhale the left arm up, and then take that side bend to the right. So nothing new yet, right? Move around if you need to. Keep that left hip and sit bone down on the earth. Make sure the eyes are open. And then come on back up. Take a deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. Now close your eyes. Sorry, that's Izzo scratching. Right hand on the earth. Inhale that left arm up. Keep your eyes closed. Exhale to the right. So same side bend, but I want you to notice what's different about it with the eyes closed. Do you notice that you're more aware of the stretch and what you're feeling in the body with the eyes closed? Because with the eyes open, we're very distracted. All right, inhale, come on back up. Exhale that left arm down. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale to the heart. We're going to release both hands to the earth. Open your eyes. So now you know what to pay attention for. Left hand on the ground. Inhale, right arm up. Take that side bend to the left. And again, make sure you don't come down so far that the right hip leaves the earth. And can you notice here, that with the eyes open, you're more aware of what you can see in front of you. You might not consciously be taking it in, right? But you're more aware and you're distracted. You probably aren't feeling what's going on in the body as much as you were when we closed our eyes. So let's try that out again. So inhale, come on up. Exhale, release the arm and close your eyes. Left fingertips on the earth. Inhale the right arm up and exhale to the left. When you're ready, come all the way up. Release the right arm. Keep your eyes closed. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale back to the heart. So one of the things that I noticed when I closed my eyes and did that same stretch is that the stretch felt more peaceful. And excuse me, and I think that's because I'm not as distracted by what I'm seeing, right? All of a sudden the pose becomes internal and I can focus on the breath. I can actually hear my shoulder cracking, which I didn't notice before. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but I'm more aware of what's going on in my body. So we'll keep making those types of comparisons on the mat today. All right, let's inhale the arms up again. Palms together, exhale to the heart. And we're going to come to table. All right, when you're ready, we're going to inhale cow. Exhale cat. Inhale cow, tuck the toes. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here, walk this out if you need to. Remember, the upper arms are rolling outward, so you create space between the shoulder blades. Inhale when you're ready. Cleansing exhale. And release the knees to the earth, untuck the toes. All right, you should be in your same alignment for table. If you're not, go ahead and fix it. Close your eyes this time. Relying on the senses, relying on your ears to hear my cues. Feeling the mat beneath your fingers, your legs. When you're ready, inhale, take it to cow, eyes are closed. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of deep breaths. On an exhale, bring your knees back to the earth. Keep your eyes closed. Untuck the toes. Widen out the knees, feet together. Take this to child's pose, Balasana. So one of the things that I want you to pay attention to is sometimes when we close our eyes on the mat and we're moving through a sequence, it might feel like you're a little lost or disoriented. Where exactly is the edge of my mat? Am I still, running parallel with the long edge of my mat, or have I turned at an angle, and how am I going to know where everything is? I want you to try to be curious instead. So if you're feeling disoriented, allow that to be your experience. Don't try to push it away, but get curious. Okay, what happens if I end up off the mat? What happens if I run into my blanket or some of my other props? What happens if I miss a beat? I don't get my arm up, it's still down, and now I'm behind. What happens? Right? So get curious. because wherever you end up and however you end up is what's meant to be. So, keeping the eyes closed. Give me a deep breath in child's pose. And as you exhale, let's walk the hands in towards you. We'll sit back on the heels for a moment. Take both arms forward and up. Stretch through the spine. Get some length here through the arms into the fingertips. Palms will find each other. And when you get to an exhale, allow them to return to your heart. Nice. Now keep your eyes closed until I tell you. Come forward into table. Feel for the earth. Don't worry about where you end up. You can set your alignment with your eyes closed. Knees are hip distance apart. Wrists are right below the shoulders. Fingers are spread wide. Okay, level back. Draw the stomach in just a little bit. Inhale, cow. Belly sinks. Heart and chin lift. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Couple of deep breaths. Don't worry about where you've ended up. Just get curious about it. We're going to take the right foot with our eyes closed and step it forward between your hands. If you step on your own hand, that's okay. And then drop the hips so we're in a low lunge. Breathe. So the back thigh is lifting a little bit without locking the knee. The back heel should be over the ball of the foot. You're feeling for all of this. Is your right knee over the right ankle, or is it out in front? And if so, can you fix that? Do you need your props underneath your hands? Can you find them without opening your eyes? Can you feel around? Follow the breath. We're going to set that back knee down and untuck the foot. So option A, if you're very uncomfortable having the eyes closed and you're feeling off balance, stay right here. Option B, let's take the hands to the right thigh and just very slowly make our way up. This is going to be wobbly. It's okay. Deepen the breath. I'm still in a lunge. My hips are still moving forward. I did not pull them back into half warrior A. Breathe. And let the hands come back down to the earth. Take your time. Feel the hands moving through the air, wondering how far away is my support. Nice job. Let's go ahead and pull the hips back, straightening out this front leg. We'll keep the sole of the foot flat. Pull the right hip back and deepen the breath. And again, you might need your blocks under your hands. Feel around for them. It might take a while. It's okay. Nice job. Let's draw the right leg back into table. I had to think which leg that was. And reset your alignment for table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg is going to step forward between the hands. Drop into your lunge. I still have the back leg lifted right now, but you can always set it down if you need to modify. Deepen the breath. Let gravity pull the hips down just a little more. Get a good stretch here. And just be curious about things, right? I know that my dog was on the right side of my mat, but I heard a deep breath more from in front of me. So now I'm kind of wondering where he is, but I'm not going to open my eyes. I'm just getting curious about, my space, what's going on around me and within me. We're going to set that back knee down, untuck the toes, stay in your low lunge, lift the heart. This is option A. Option B, hands very slowly to that left thigh, and see if you can straighten out the spine, keeping the hips dropped forward. Deepen the breath. Enjoy the wobbling and the wiggling. Nice job. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Pull the hips back to straighten out that front leg. And you guys know when I say straighten, it doesn't necessarily mean the leg is going to straighten. We don't want to force that. Sole of the foot down and pull that left hip back. Deepen the breath. And when you're ready to step that left leg back, we're going into child's pose. And so here you might be able to just notice a little bit more about your surroundings. When I slid forward, I could tell I'm further up on my mat than I was before. And I feel a little off-centered from side to side, and that's okay. Just notice these things. So the theme of today's class is perspective. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. And then while you're here in your child's pose, I'm assuming that your palms are down towards the earth. Can you go ahead and turn them upward? That'll help release the shoulders. And then return the palms to the earth. Deep inhale. Exhale. Keep your eyes closed. Walk the hands back in. Sitting back on the heels for a moment. And then opening your eyes. Excellent. All right. Have a block nearby, will you? And I think I'll just stay angled on my mat here for a second. We're going to do something a lot of fun. So go ahead and take the legs out forward, not a super wide V, just a casual, easier V with the legs. And then I'm going to take my block and I'm going to put it out in front of me. You get to decide what height it's going to be at. The taller the block, the harder this will be. I think maybe I'll try medium height for right now and we'll see where we end up. So I'm sitting up nice and tall. You can take your hands behind you for some support if you want to. This is a leg exercise. So as I get situated here, the right leg is going to lift up and go over the block and then back. So now you might make a decision like, oh, that wasn't as much fun as I thought it was going to be. And you could turn the block to its lower height so you don't have to lift the leg as high. Okay? So here we go. Right leg only. Take it over, take it back. So you obviously do need to tip back a tiny bit probably, but be careful about caving into the spine and bending way into the elbows. I want this to be a leg and an ab exercise. So go ahead and keep taking that leg across. Focus on your breath. Hollow thighs. See how much perspective this was? I said it was going to be fun, and maybe you think it is, and maybe you don't. Let's do 2 more. Oh yeah, hello hip. My hip just kicked in. Woo! When that leg is back where it started, go ahead, take the arms all the way up. Let's hinge forward and bring the hands down, just kind of moving around in a fold here. All right, come on back up. Second leg to go. Thank God there's only 2, right? All right, when you're ready, and get that leg up and over. What do you want to focus on here? Keep going. I promise something restorative for the legs next. How about 2 more? Nice job. Woo. Inhale, take the arms up, hinge forward. Come on down into a fold. You're ready. We'll walk our way back up and set that block aside. Grab your bolster. If you don't have one, pillows will do. Your blankets will do. I'm going to bring that down by my feet. I'm going to put my legs over this. I promised you something restorative for the legs. So the bolster is going underneath the knees. If you would prefer, you could put that bolster on its edge for a little more comfort under the legs. I don't know, it's totally up to you. And then, let's lay back down. Whew. Close your eyes. And follow the breath. Let's do a body scan while we're here. Start at the top of the head, work your way down, noticing any tension, discomfort, but also noticing parts of the body that just feel amazing. And then I want you to do another body scan, and don't change anything, don't move. But I just want you to go from like shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm, comparing how you've laid yourself out. Are you balanced? Like, is the right arm equidistant from the body as the left arm, or is one arm closer to you? Just pay attention to those little things. Don't change anything though. And then one more body scan. I want you to balance everything. So those little things that you noticed were different, I want you to see if you can get the right side to mirror the left. So if you tipped your bolster on its edge like I did, I want you to let it drop so it's flat and pull it in just a little closer to your glutes. If you're using pillows, also fine. If you weren't using anything, your legs are on the ground, that's also fine, but you might need blocks or something to go under the knees. We're going to take the legs into cobbler. So if you're using the bolster, bring your legs up on top, soles of the feet together, knees go wide. If you're on the ground and you take your legs to cobbler, the knees are hanging in space. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. If it feels like, oh my gosh, that's too much gravity on my inner thighs, I want you to find something to prop underneath the legs so you aren't working to hold your legs in place. Then we're going to take the hands and interlace them behind the head, elbows wide. And so again, just like we talked about with the legs being open and supported, do your elbows come all the way down to the ground? I mean, does this feel like a good, relaxing kind of place to be? Or are your elbows sticking up off of the floor? Maybe there's a tightness going on in the shoulders, and are you having to hold them there? So if that's the case, I either want you to put something underneath the elbows, or I want you to release the arms completely. So I've been listening to this podcast recently. It's called Second Date Updates, and it's somebody has gone out on a first date and they're being ghosted. The other person isn't calling or texting back, so they call up this radio show and they explain the date, and then the radio show calls the other person to find out why they're not calling the first person back, and that second person that they call doesn't know that the first person is on the line. So the point of this podcast is to find out what went wrong and can it be fixed? Would they be willing to go out on a second date? And so you're listening to the first caller's perspective, right? They're the ones that called in. They're explaining the date. They're saying, what went well. They're saying what red flags might have occurred. And generally, they think the date went pretty well, which is why they're surprised they're not getting a call back. Right, I'm going to pause my story there for a moment. Take a deep breath in, hold the breath. Let it go. We're going to go ahead and pull the knees up towards each other. And you can push that bolster or pillow out of your way. We'll keep the knees bent. And then let's go ahead and release the arms. So here is where you might want to look or feel around for your yoga strap. If you don't have a strap, you can do this without one, or you can grab some type of belt. All right, so I'm going to lasso the first leg. Oh my gosh, the right leg. Sorry. You don't know which one's the first leg. Okay, right leg's going up to the ceiling. Flex the foot, spread the toes wide. Let's just hang out right here for a moment. So if this feels tight, we're going to just let the sensations dissipate. So, back to my story. Once person A has called in and explained the whole date, the radio DJs call the other person, and they don't let them know the first person's on the line. And they say, hey, we're calling to find out, what happened on this date and why you're not returning this person's calls. So, more often than not, person number 2 says, but did the first person tell you that this happened? There's always something that the original caller left out, not intentionally. Could be an oversight. Maybe they didn't think it was weird. There's always something. And I probably 90% of the time while I'm in my car listening to this, my jaw is down by the accelerator. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe that happened on this date. Go ahead and stretch out the left leg. Oops, I'm both stretching from beginning. All right, right leg is still up. Push the back of that left thigh down towards the earth. Don't lock the left knee. Just hang out here. See how this changed the stretch for you. And so it's really interesting to hear the different perspectives. How the person who's calling in usually thinks the date went pretty well and can identify some red flags that occurred. But the person picking up the phone most often has a different story or has details that person A left out that are really alarming. And so that's kind of how I was thinking we would talk about perspective today. All right. Reach up with both hands to grab as high up on that strap as you can. And if you're not using a strap, you're grabbing as high up on the leg as you can. And push the back of the left leg down. We're lifting the head and the shoulders. And we're going to reach up. And if you want to, you can draw the right leg in closer. You don't have to. Just looking to say hello to some other muscles here in the abs. Breathe. Make sure you're not holding your breath. You're pulling up. Nice job. All right, I'm going to slowly release my shoulders and my head. I'm going to hang onto the straps again. Inhale, lengthen through the right leg as though you could push the ceiling up higher. And then exhale, we're going to very slowly release that right leg down to the earth. Keep your eyes open. Watch that leg as it travels down until you can no longer see it. What does that feel like? When the leg touches down, relax and close your eyes for a moment. All right, grab that strap, pull that right leg all the way back up, or if you want to, you can bend the knee and pull it in first, and then straighten the leg. So same leg here. Just let it hang out for a moment, flex the foot, spread the toes, left thigh's pushing down. This time when we lower the leg, we're gonna have our eyes closed. We're gonna compare how that not only feels different, but the perspective is going to be different, right? So, big inhale, close your eyes, and slowly exhale that leg down. When you touch down, relax. I'm just thinking for a moment how that was different. So sometimes in that podcast, after the second person has picked up and relayed their story, sometimes, not all the time for sure, but sometimes the first person goes, oh my gosh, I didn't look at it that way. I can see how you would have interpreted that. And so they take on the other person's perspective, right? All right, let's get that left foot into the strap. Free the right leg. Pull that left knee in and then straighten the leg up. We're going to bend that right knee, setting the foot on the floor because that's how we started on the other side. Giving the left leg a moment to settle into this position. And so one of the questions I was thinking of posing here is, we know we don't have control over other people, right? We only have control over ourselves, which means that often we don't have control over our situations or our environment. We have control over how we react to them. And so what I wanted you to think about was, do we have control over our perspective? You sit with that for a moment while you go ahead and straighten out that right leg. Both feet are flexed. Right leg's pushing down. Don't lock the knee. And then we're going to reach the hands up the straps as far as we can, or up your leg. And when you're ready, lift the head and shoulders. You can draw the leg in closer if you want. Keep breathing and keep thinking about that question. Do we have control over our perspective? All right, when you're ready, go ahead and lower the shoulders, the head, grab the straps. Keep your eyes open. Inhale. And exhale, watch that left leg go all the way down. Notice where your focus is. And when the leg touches down, close your eyes. Relax. And then we're going to take that left leg back up. So you can pull the knee in first if that's easier, and then straighten the leg. We'll pause here for a moment. Okay, close your eyes this time. Inhale. And slowly exhale that leg down. And notice where your focus is. The leg touches down, relax. I'm going to let go of that strap And then I'm going to draw both knees in to hug them close. You can lift up the head and shoulders if you want to. You don't have to. All right. Go ahead, release it, both feet down on the mat. Stretch both arms overhead. And then release the arms and roll to a side in a fetal position. Ready. Gently push your way back up. All right, I'm gonna set my strap aside. We will want the bolster, probably blankets. I'd pull everything close by because this will be different for each one of us. I want to take the legs in a V and bring the props out in front. We're going to find a way to get comfortable in a fold. So that might mean layering your props and bringing them up closer to you. It could be tilting props towards you so you don't feel like you've got to come down too far to meet your support, whatever you need it to be. So take a moment, play around, see what you're looking for this morning. You get comfortable, close your eyes. All right, with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine that you have your pilot's license and you have your own small private plane. I want you to open the door of that plane and get into the cockpit. Buckle in, do whatever you imagine you need to do. We're not going to worry about the details. We're just going to suddenly see that plane lifting up into the air, peacefully, gently, going higher and higher. We're not going super high. But as you're moving forward, I want you to notice that there's a forest coming up underneath you. And I want you to look down at the forest from your bird's eye perspective. Perhaps you're close enough to see the tops, the points of the trees. But notice that you can't make out a lot of detail. It's like a sea of green, and it's beautiful. And I'm just wanting you to get curious about what that perspective looks like and feels like to you. So take a moment to explore that. And then I want you to look for a clearing in the midst of that forest. There is one, so go look for it. It's a place where you can land your plane. And when you find it, I want you just to imagine that plane coming down, or maybe it's just floating down and landing on the earth. And once you've touched down, you're in this clearing, you're surrounded by the forest. I want you to take in the details and notice how this view might be different from the one up above. And in particular, I want you to pay attention to or compare and contrast how your emotions and your feelings are different from being up above, looking down, versus being in the midst of. We're going to pause our vision right there. We're coming right back to it, but I've left you here for kind of a while. So start to walk your way back up out of this fold. I'm going to take my hands behind me, bend into the elbows, and just open up the heart. All right, when you're ready, straighten yourself back out, lift up your props, bring the legs in together, and let's set your props down on top of your legs. You could use your strap around your feet if you want to. We're going to find another fold right here. So prop things up, get comfortable, pull everything in towards your ribs. When you're ready, just make your way down into a happy place and close your eyes. All right, you're back, sitting in your plane on the earth in a clearing surrounded by forest. How do you feel? And now reach over and open the door and let's get out. How does that one change, being in the plane versus getting out of the plane? Change what you're feeling, what you're sensing. I want you to start to walk through that clearing towards the forest and enter into the shade and the shadows. How is your perspective different here? Physically, mentally, emotionally? As you keep walking into the thick part of the forest, listening to the sounds, I'm curious if there's any fear. Look for the shadows, begin to wonder about them. Get curious about the sounds you're hearing. And if you're like, yeah, I would feel some fear here. Did you notice that out in the clearing? Was there any fear present in the plane? Was there fear present when you were flying above the forest? And maybe there was, but it might have been for different reasons. continue to walk through the forest. I want you to find a spot that feels very safe and secure. There's something about it that calls to you. It might be particular flowers, smells, plants. Maybe there's a friendly, I don't know, deer, rabbit there that's waiting to be pet. Whatever it is, find that space for you and sit down there. And so then thinking back on your different perspectives, from where we started up in the air to where you are right now, I again ask you, do you feel it's possible to have control over your perspective? Deep breath in. As you exhale, you can make your way out of that fold. Set your props to the side for a moment. And then draw the knees in and hug them close. And then from here, let's move the feet away a little bit, turn the fingers in towards you, behind you, and we're going to find our tabletop. So draw the stomach in a little bit, push the earth away, and lift up. Deepen the breath. Lift the hips a tad higher, and exhale all the way down, gently. As gently as that plane landing in the clearing. And then grab those things that you want for Shavasana. And let's go ahead and lay back. We'll come back to our question. So remember, Shavasana is how you want it to be, whether you're using props or not. When you close your eyes, do that body scan. Is the entire body comfortable? And if not, fix it, will you? Otherwise, your focus will be drawn to the area of the body that's not particularly happy. And so as we think about perspective, remember, some people love Shavasana. Most yogis do, I think. But those newer to yoga might not like Shavasana so much. It takes a while to get used to being okay with that stillness inside yourself. It takes a while to figure out if the body is laying peaceful and calm, how do I get the mind to do that too? And there might be some fear in letting go completely. So different perspectives, right? So do we have control over our perspectives? And I'm wondering if the answer is, well, initially, our perspective is our own, right? It's based on so many things that we've been taught in our experiences and what we've learned, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think we often forget to flip our mindset to the other perspective, just so we can get a glimpse in. And in that sense, I think we do have control. So I asked you to look around the depths of that forest, look at the shadows, notice if you feel fear. And if you were on board with that and you thought, yeah, I kind of would be a little leery of those shadows and how quiet it is out here, and I don't know if someone's lurking. I want you to flip the perspective while you're in Shavasana and get curious. Get curious about the shadows. Get curious about maybe the rabbit that's sitting in the shade versus out present with you. Get curious about what flowers and mosses and plants you might find in the shadows that are not where you are. So we're getting curious, we're seeking out different perspectives. And we're not overthinking this while we're in Shavasana, okay? You'll know when it's time to come back when you hear my voice. bringing your focus back to your breath. Allow some movement back into the body. And taking your hands to lay across your heart. Breathing in gratitude. And breathing in peace. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me, and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.